Welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Pre-release 1 for 1.14.1 has just come out, and I am flying around in a fresh new world here, checking out the chunk generation. If any of you have been playing with Minecraft 1.14, you're probably aware that chunks load pretty funky, and that no longer seems to be the case. Just in case you haven't been playing in Minecraft 1.14, these are some screenshots taken from the bug tracker of what the chunk loading did look like. I had encountered this. This was one of the reasons Hermitcraft wouldn't update to 1.14 straight away, and it does appear to be fixed in this update. That is, of course, good news, and in this video I'll be going through some of the other bug fixes with pre-release 1, and then at the end of the video I'm going to go over some things that are yet to be fixed. I'm hoping there'll be a second pre-release before this comes out with some more critical fixes. First of all, we've had a couple of issues related to mob spawning, and specifically them not despawning when over 128 blocks away from the player, which they should normally do, and some of you having issues with mob spawning in your world related to having render distance set to 10. These things are supposed to be fixed, and I don't really know how to test and show them because I didn't experience these problems myself. If you had those issues, I hope it's now resolved for you. This is a new feature. Pillager Outposts will be able to spawn in with the world, or generate, however you want to word it, in snowy biomes, which is interesting. Also, these banners as well had the incorrect name. When you would collect them, they would have like Minecraft.something.something, and now they say ominous banner. So they are the same as the raid leader types. The same as this type right here. And look at that, the banners stack because they're the same. So we have a couple of feature fixes related to observers. If I put a log in front of it, you'll see that the lamp blinks. And because we're in 1.14.1, what I'm about to show you next will work. But if that log appeared because a tree had been grown from a sapling with bone meal, it wouldn't have blinked. The observer wouldn't have detected the update. And the same applies to mushrooms as well. The fix applies to both of these. So if I grow this with a tree, it gets a signal where it wouldn't have done before. Also, pro tip for you, you can put mushrooms on mycelium, but not on regular blocks if the light level isn't correct. Oh, and if you're wondering why my observers have these fancy textures that light up on the side of them, it's because Vanilla Tweaks has been updated for 1.14. If you didn't catch that video, there should be a card on the screen for it. If you've been watching my recent videos, then this split screen will be no surprise to you. I can't believe I hadn't thought of this sooner. It's such a great way to show things. So you can see the other player is in the Nether, and if I teleport myself to the other player, I'm still going to be in the overworld. And this is a bug that's been annoying me for ages. It affects you when you're in spectator mode as well. So if you've ever done teleporting on a server and wonder why you didn't go to the player, it's because it wasn't taking in the context that the other player is in a different dimension. That is, of course, fixed in pre-release 1, and now we're playing a game of Spot the Difference because the crafting table texture has changed. It is so subtle and not very difficult to spot, but the texture here just matches that of the wood a little bit more. I think somewhere along the way with all the changes to the wood textures, Jasper forgot to update the crafting bench, and so there is a slight change to it. So what's the bug this time? Well, we can see the wolf on the right hand side is jittering when on a slime block. That's supposed to happen to the cat as well, according to the bug post. And over here on the left side of the screen in 1.14.1, the wolf has certainly been fixed, but it didn't seem to have a problem with the cat to begin with. This might be a familiar sight to you, seeing something creeping through the corner of blocks. This is actually identified as a bug because the skeleton is pathfinding diagonally through the blocks to the player, which it shouldn't do, and has been fixed in 1.14.1. It is night time in this village, and the villagers here are all trying to sleep on a bed that is occupied. This behaviour should be no more in the next update. Iron golems can naturally spawn in a 2.5 block space, which they will then actually be stuck inside of. As you can see, its hitbox goes in here, and therefore it's inside a block and it doesn't try to move anywhere. So this is going to be changed so that they need 3 blocks of space to be spawned in. If you have a renamed book with an enchantment that you're putting into a grindstone, its name is lost when the enchantment is removed. And here in the new pre-release, the book will keep its name when the enchantment is removed. Now let's get excited for the next episode of Myth Busting, because I recorded it earlier today and it's going to include some testing with Enderman. And it's actually in the bug tracker, this funkiness that we see right here. Enderman are teleporting down to the void to avoid taking damage. And in this new pre-release, we should see this behavior is gone. Yes. They'll either fall into the void or they'll teleport to the magma blocks. That is the normal behavior. I've turned my sound up for this next recording because the raid horn, which is sounded off when a raid begins, has been a little bit difficult to hear, and you're supposed to be able to hear it from the center of a village. So let's go ahead and start a raid. And now we have to wait for the raid party to form, and then we should hear the horn. Okay, I definitely heard that. It did seem louder, but then again, I have just turned my game sound up, so I'm not really sure if much of a difference has been made, actually. Last of the bugs, I'd like to blitz through some quite severe sounding performance issues that are supposedly taken care of. One of them to do with lighting between the server and the client being taken care of. If you had any lighting issues, maybe it's patched. The Wolf AI can sometimes target a mob way off in the distance, and that causes lots of CPU issues and lag spikes. That's supposedly taken care of. Then we have 3 issues related to villagers. They can shake their head even when they have a workstation and they're ready to trade. They also show the incorrect price sometimes if you're playing on a server, and their point of interest detection, i.e. a workbench or a bed, can sometimes cause the CPU to go up to 100%, causing massive lag spikes. Then last of all, the Enderman had an AI glitch, also causing lots of lag inside of the game. So now I'd like to talk about some issues that don't appear to be fixed in this pre-release. One of the things people have been commenting on is the lack of lily pads in swamps. This one right here actually has quite a few more than the swamps I visited, but clearly there is a lot less generating than normal, right? I mean, there's only a handful of them in this area. So I've heard reports that breaking bamboo is laggy, and actually growing it as well was giving me some shakiness just before I started recording. The jungle in general seems to perform badly. As you can see, it gets a little bit jerky spinning around here. Let's break this bamboo, and that doesn't actually seem too bad. But clearly there's something up with jungles. Also, breaking leaves still seems to give these weird lag spikes. Again, this might be amplified because I'm in the jungle, but it is really noticeable. Well, one of the big complaints is that villagers weren't farming, and in this update they definitely are. Just as I started to talk, they were breaking them. I hope that continues, but yes, I've just witnessed them doing some farming, so that appears to be fixed. Clearly this is a terrible idea. There's a bunch of blazes off in the distance. I'm going to attack this one, and then the ones off in the distance that can't actually see me get aggressive. And this is a bug. I'm pretty sure that's not the way blazes are supposed to behave. I've also heard that it doesn't matter how far they are away, they'll just be continually aggressive at the player. And best of all, my trick for getting easy mending books still works in 1.14.1. That was actually a video I put out earlier today, so you should go and check that out if you haven't seen it already, because this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like. As always, thanks for the support. Make sure you subscribe to catch that new episode of Myth Busting coming out in a few days, and I'll see you soon with another video.